Every single mention of Will Herondale and his grey hair, stop reminding me that he's aging. Hi, it's Sam and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today we're going to be doing an extreme book haul. These are books that I have curated over the last month or even 2 months, so this doesn't normally happen. I feel like it was a busy Christmas time, it was a busy January, and somehow I've ended up with all of these books. Let's get into it. I'll be starting off with the books that I bought over the last couple months, and this all started off with the Waterstones half price hardback sale, and that's where a lot of the damage has come from. So firstly, I got a copy of Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and this is the same author that wrote Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I always see people on TikTok, especially Sivan Reads, crying about this series, and I want to feel some of that pain. It's meant to be both equal parts heartbreaking and heartwarming. I'm really excited to see what this one's about. And if I cry, I will be documenting all of my tears. The next book I got in the half price hardback sale is I'm Glad My Mum Died by Janet McCurdy. This was £10 finally, because I couldn't justify spending £20 on it before, but when it was £10, I was like, yep, give me a copy. There have been so many positive reviews and discussions around this book, and I remember growing up with Janet McCurdy on iCarly, and I think for her to come out and speak very truthfully about her past and how that shaped her today is very admirable, and I'd really like to hear her story. Probably one of the only autobiographies that I'm going to get to, or memoirs that I'm going to get to in the near future. The next book that I grabbed was Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and this is the spin-off series to These Violent Delights, which I didn't massively love, but I did really enjoy Foul Lady Fortune, and I do already own another copy, but I had to get this because it was £8 and it's signed and the Waterstones exclusive, so I just couldn't say no. It's set in 1930s with spies, and our two main characters have to pretend to be married in order to complete their mission. It's the Grumpy Sunshine trope as well. I very much enjoyed this and I'm looking forward to the sequel. I didn't originally buy this in the hardback sale, but then I went back for it because my friend Molly told me it was one of her best books of 2022, and that is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. I definitely want to read more like Greek retellings and Greek reimaginings, so I had to pick this up, and this is meant to be a focus on Medusa's story. In December, I read one of my favourite books, one of my favourite series of last year, and that was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And its sequel, The Ballad of Never After, was chef's kiss, one of the best books I read last year. So what did I go out and do? I found both coloured paperback copies of Once Upon a Broken Heart. This pink one was from the works and it was £3, and I had a gift card for Waterstones and I found the blue copy. It is for Jax, who else is extremely excited for book 3. It's all I can think about this year. Every week I'm like, is it September? No, okay, never mind, back to bed. These next two were the result of 2 a.m. Amazon shopping, which is something I would definitely not recommend to anyone because you will waste all your money. In this case, it didn't feel like a waste because I bought Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, and these are the first two books in the Magnolia Parks universe. I never really planned to pick up these books because I heard that there was a toxic relationship. I just wasn't really sure if that was for me, but this book was actually so much fun. If you just imagine a UK version of Gossip Girl with a lot of drama, so like rich people in their early 20s who have too much time, too much money on their hands, and you mash it all up together with a dysfunctional relationship, toxicity, overly dramatic and infuriating characters, you'll get Magnolia Parks. And one thing that surprised me most about this series is that I really enjoyed the writing. It tries to be a bit deep at times, but I think it works with the story. I am going to be reading the whole series, guys. Look how much I tabbed this. I'm living for the drama in this series. The next pile of books are from my subscriptions with Illumicrate and Fairyloot. If you don't know what they are these companies that produce gorgeous special editions of books. I have sadly fallen into the pit of special editions and I have given all of my money to them basically, so I must share them with you. First book is the Afterlight Illumicrate book, and that is X's and O's by Amy Lee, and I've heard that this is a really good romance. So in this book, our main character is looking to get back into a second chance romance, and she wants to go through the list of all of her exes that she's dated before, and to help with that she asks her flatmate Trevor to try and help her through the list, and I suppose that's where their love story begins. I was originally put off this book because my dad's name is Trevor and that makes me feel uncomfortable. But I've heard so many good things about it, so I will be reading this one. The next book is from Fairyloot's adult box, and I've actually already read it, and it is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I loved this. It's along the same vein as like a cozy fantasy. It's set in a cold country where our main character has gone to research fairies, and while she's there, she thinks she's going to get on with her work and she's going to enjoy her time there, and it's going to be a very productive project. However, she ends up being joined by her academic rival, who is also basically her only friend. They end up spending long, cozy evenings by the fire together, while during the day they do their research. Something about it just hit the spot for me. It is the grumpy sunshine trope where our protagonist is extremely grumpy and her academic rival, Wendell, is like this bubbly sunshine person. I'll definitely be picking up book 2. The romance wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but overall the story and the vibes, just like, it was perfection. From my December Illumicrate box, I got the Red Scholar's Wake. This is meant to be a sci-fi sapphic fantasy set against a backdrop of an interstellar war against piracy. I'm intrigued. One of the most stunning books I've seen so far this year, and that is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. This is the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I really love that book. It's a adult fantasy. It's inspired by Chinese mythology. I thought it was written really well. I really enjoyed the world building of the first book and actually the love triangle that was blossoming by the end. Don't know what to expect from this book. I'm actually quite scared because every person I've seen that reads this book is like bawling their eyes out. I can't wait. From the Fairyloot January box, I got Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. This is a YA fantasy that has a magic system that's like rooted in spices and drinking tea. It's an absolutely stunning edition. On the back it says, whoever controls the spice controls the kingdom itself. I'm intrigued. So yeah, so many beautiful books. I literally don't know where to start sometimes when I look at my shelves and try and pick out a TBR because everything looks good. I also forgot that I bought this, but it is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, and this is a Waterstones exclusive edition. I don't want this series to end. I already feel so emotional. I have also got the normal edition of Chain of Thorns. I'm 100 pages in. I constantly feel like I want to cry because I don't want this series to end. I don't want to say goodbye to these characters and this world. Every single mention of Will Herondale and his grey hair. Stop reminding me that he's aging. I don't need to know. I would like to immortalize Will Herondale from the Infernal Devices. In my mind, nothing bad will ever happen to him. Don't spoil it for me. I'm only 100 pages in. I'm also thinking of filming my reactions as I keep going through this book because I just know I'm going to be crying all over the place. The next couple of books were kindly gifted to me by friends, and the first one is Daughter of No Worlds by Clarissa Broadbent. This is a new adult fantasy romance that's on the same vein as A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I've heard massive praise for this on TikTok. Apparently it's a binge-worthy series. The romance is very good, so I'm very excited to read this, and thank you, Saz, for sending this to me. My beautiful, gorgeous best friend Amy May reads on TikTok and also just started a booktube. I'll include her handle somewhere here. She bought me Little Fire by Holly Mans, the first book in the Warrior of the Five Realms series, and she also bought me the second book called Winter Sun. These are like adult fantasy romance. I've already read the first book, really liked it. I will be getting on to the second book. Also, the covers, they're not bad. They're not bad. Next books are books that I've been sent by publishers or I've picked up at events. These first books I picked up at the Walker Preview evening, and I picked up All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. This is a YA fantasy with a tarot-based magic system, and I got the first and the third book, so I'm looking forward to getting onto them. I love how cohesive these covers are. Can we appreciate that? I'll be hunting down the second book and then I can binge read this series. The next book I picked up was Rebel Skies by Anna Salin, and this is a YA fantasy with a threat in this world being giant origami birds. I think it just sounds really cool. On the pile it goes. From Scholastic, I got sent a copy of This Time It's Real by Anne Liang. I'm actually halfway through this book. I have another 150 pages to go, and I am so in love. It's a YA rom-com with like fake dating, and it's just so cute. If you want like a fluffy, adorable YA romance, then you need to pick this up. Our main character is really into writing, and when one of her essays on love goes viral, she wants to kind of like make the fame last a bit longer, so she ends up organizing a fake dating relationship with the popular guy at school who is also like a famous actor. So cute. I would definitely recommend. Scholastic also sent a copy of The Black Queen by Jamate Emile. I did start this one because I was really intrigued and I really liked the idea of it. I did already start this book because I was very intrigued. It's meant to be a murder mystery thriller that kind of takes a closer look at race and privilege in like the high school setting. The cover, like, I'm so obsessed. I got sent a copy of Begin Again by Emma Lord, and then this is like another like cute YA rom-com that I'm really excited to get to. This is said to be an unforgettable novel of love and starting again. I got sent a copy of Medusa by Jessie Burton. It's quite short, so hopefully I can finish it in one sitting. If I told you that I'd killed a man with a glance, would you wait to hear the rest? The why, the how, and what happened next? Monster, man-hater, murderess, forget everything you've been told about Medusa in a new version of the story that history set in stone long ago. And like I said before, I need to read more Greek mythology, reimaginings, and retellings, so this is going on my list. I got sent a copy of The Witch in the Well by Camilla Bruce, and this sounds like a witchy kind of murder mystery. Front says what happened to the girl almost 200 years ago is bad. What's happening now is terrifying. Before the summer is over, one woman will be dead and the other accused of murder. But is she guilty, or are there other forces at work? I got sent a copy of The Cloisters by Katie Hayes, and I've been seeing this one a lot in like all of the Waterstones I've been going into. Our main character moves to a new city and ends up working in a museum, and at this museum there are a group of researchers that are really focused, and she gets kind of drawn into their crowd. Main character ends up finding like these long lost 15th century Italian tarot cards, finding herself in the middle of a game of power and toxic relationships and ambition. So far we've had 2 books that are about Medusa, 2 books with like tarot cards kind of based influences. What are the chances? I got sent this book which I haven't opened yet, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But look at this art print that it came with. Obsessed. I have read one book by Tricia Levenseller before, and that was Daughter of the Pirate King, which I read because of Book Talk, and I didn't actually like it that much. I thought it was okay. It was really sold as an enemies to lovers, but really wasn't that hard on the enemies to lovers, really. It is The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller, and it looks very good. I will be reading this despite my like meh feelings on Daughter of the Pirate King. This is a YA fantasy with court and political intrigue, which I love. It says that our main character's plan is to woo the king, marry him, then kill him and take over his domain. So I'm sold. The next books are some arcs that I've received that I'm excited for, and the first one is Gothicana by Runix, which is out in March. And I've heard that this is a kind of like gothic, dark academia, dark romance. I think this book was previously self-published, and everyone that has read this book has really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to read it. I got sent a proof of Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I have not read anything from Alexandra Bracken before, but she did write The Darkest Minds, I believe was adapted into a movie, and she wrote Lore as well, which is a like a Medusa reimagining. Break the curse before it breaks you. Our main character in this book is someone that breaks into ancient crypts of dark sorceresses to find any like long lost treasure inside. And then she hears these rumors about a powerful ring from Arthurian legend that could potentially help free her brother from a curse. And then she ends up having to partner up with someone that she really doesn't want to find the ring, yada yada yada. So you know where this is going. The next book I got sent was The Cassandra Complex by Holly Small. This I believe is like her adult debut. On the front of this proof it says she's just been dumped, she's just been fired, her local cafe has run out of banana muffins. It sounds like it's going to be a fun time. I also got sent a copy of Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Tors. On the back it says, Joanna, I'm sorry, don't let your mother in. Keep this book safe and away from your blood. I love you so much. Tell Esther. The book also says that it's a literary fantasy about the magic of books and the ties of family. So I can't wait to get to this. I think it's also like a dark academia vibe. This little card that says Enjoy Sam says, a secret library of dangerous magical books, 2 sisters tasked with its protection. a dark mystery to unravel who hunts the books for their own evil ends. I wish I could just leave my full-time job to read all of these books. I also requested a copy of Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb, and I didn't expect to get it, but here it is, and it looks amazing! Long ago, humans betrayed dragons, stealing their magic and banishing them to a dying world. Centuries later, their descendants worship dragons as gods, but the gods remember and they do not forgive. I am so excited. I'm currently reading The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, so I'm very into dragons right now. This is out in May 2023. I got sent a proof of Hotel 21 by Center Rich, and it came with this really cute doorstop. Do not disturb, I'm reading Hotel 21. This book is out in April. I love what this book says on the front, which is Noelle can tidy your room in 5 minutes. Tidying her life, that's going to need a team. And then for some literary fiction, I got sent a copy of The Three of Us. On the back it says, the wife, the husband, the best friend. What if your two favorite people hated each other with a passion? Apparently this book is part suburban millennial comedy of manners, part domestic noir, and is for fans of My Sister the Serial Killer, Such a Fun Age, and I May Destroy You. I really want to get to this very soon. It is out in May. And from the Fourth Estate Showcase event, I picked up Friendaholic, Confessions of a Friendship Addict by Elizabeth Day. And on the back it says, we often can't find the right words to express the unique depth and complicated beauty of what friendship really is, because we've spent so much time heroizing romantic love. This book is an attempt to fill that gap. This book sounds really interesting to me, and it says the author asks why there isn't a language that can express the crucial influence of friendship on our world. It just looks so cute as well. I love the cover. And I got sent a copy of Now She Is a Witch by Kirsty Logan, and this is another literary kind of witchy fantasy. I love what it says here, that the author builds a world of violence and beauty in which women grasp at power through witchcraft and poisons, through sexuality and childbearing, through performance and pretense, and most of all, through throwing other women to the wolves. This is a witch story unlike any other. I also got sent a copy of One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I've really loved Olivia Blake over the last 2 years or year and a half. It's so good that all of her work is being picked up by traditional publishing, because it just means that we're getting book after book after book. I had the Atlas 6, the Atlas Paradox, Alone with You in the Ether, which I really enjoyed. The book also has gorgeous art in it, like all of its predecessors from Olivia Blake. I love that we're carrying this through to the rest of her books. I hope you enjoyed my book haul, and please leave a comment down below letting me know what book I should get to first, or which book sounds good to you that you'll be adding to your TBR, because honestly I have no idea where to start. I'm going to keep reading Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Yes, I will be filming all of my tears and every moment of joy. After that, I am going to be tackling all of these. I do have a series up on my TikTok, and it's called Reading Every Single Book on My 200 Book TBR. We've got a couple parts on there, making my way through it, but I feel like since I've started that, I probably now have at least 220 books to read, but I'm going to keep it at 200 because reading every book on my 220 book TBR doesn't have the same ring to it. I will be back with another video soon, and in the meantime, you can catch me at Sam Falling Books on TikTok and Instagram.